Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, here to talk NFL playoffs, wildcard weekend. Starting off with the Saturday games: Browns, Texans, Chiefs, Dolphins. If you're new to the channel, got my NFL regular season ATS record there in the top right. That's what I did between week 12 and week 18. So ended the season pretty strong. Uh, I started streaming in week 12, so that's why you only got the week 12 starting from the 12 record. But we're gonna get into it. Browns, Texans, Dolphins, Chiefs. I'll give my usual. So I usually didn't do every game during the regular season. I only games I felt comfortable with. But this time around, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm gonna do every NFL playoff game and give you my opinion on whether high stakes, low stakes play, and so forth. So getting into it, let's talk Browns at the Texans. This opened at 2.5. Went down to 2. I caught it at 2. I just checked right now. It's gone back up to 2.5. So this has been bouncing back and forth between 2.5 and 2. This is a rematch from about 3 weeks ago or so. The Browns beat the Texans 36-22 in a game that wasn't even as close as that score indicated. I mean, the Browns crushed the Texans, but obviously there's a big major thing you got to consider when talking about that game is that CJ Stroud did not play in that game. So could have changed the entire complexion of the game. So first looking at a matchup, we're talking about Browns passing offense. You know, Joe Flacco, ever since he's come on, this guy's throwing 300 burgers on everybody. Every time you look up, it's 3 bills. When he played against that Texans defense, he put up 3 bills. And that Texans pass defense has been weak this year. It's been weak. It's been struggling pretty much all season. And while the Browns didn't have a strong passing attack for most of the year, ever since Flacco came on, this has been a passing team. They kind of abandoned the running game with Jerome Ford and Kareem Hunt, and against this Texans run defense, I know that Jonathan Taylor went off in the last game of the season against them in essentially a playoff game because it was win or go home. Um, I still think the Texans got a really good run defense, and they got these D linemen healthy or healthy-ish, you could say, with Will Anderson back. John Grenard is supposed to be back as their top pass rusher at defensive end. So the Texans D line is supposed to be intact. The Texans are relatively healthy on the defensive side of the ball. So I don't against this Browns rushing attack. That's they've kind of abandoned and hasn't really been that strong either in this past month. You got to give that advantage to the Texans' run defense, and then on the Texans side, when the offensive side, explosive passing attack with C.J. Stroud, but is it just Stroud and Nico? Because Robert Woods and Noah Brown, last I saw, questionable play. Maybe they're gonna give it a go, but they're probably not gonna be 100%. So it's gonna be again C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins. On the Browns side, I like the Browns have the #1 pass defense in the league. Then you got Denzel Ward. He hurt his leg, he hurt his knee in practice. He didn't get into how serious it was. Doesn't seem to be that serious as he was listed as questionable. But from what I've seen, it's 1 p.m. I haven't seen anything to say that he's out for this game. So I'm going into this game thinking Denzel Ward is back, and he's going to be matched up against Nico Collins. That's going to really limit Texans passing attack. So I got it broken kind of even because I do respect C.J. Stroud and that passing game. And then on the run in the Browns run defense, you can run on. It's the weakness in the Browns defense is their is their rush defense. But the Texans, as I've spoken many times on here, they don't have a running game. I don't respect Dameon Pierce at all. And then Devin Singletary's had a couple flash moments this season, but he hasn't really done much, right? To say, oh, the Texans have a legit running. So the way I'm seeing this game is I'm seeing the Browns should still be able to get off. I mean, Flacco to Amari Cooper went off on him last game. That had nothing to do with C.J. Stroud being out. So I can see. I'm not saying Amari's going for 200 plus again because I don't see that happening. But I definitely see this Flacco passing game to just continue to cook. I mean, As sooner or later, he's not going to be able to throw for 3 bills, but I don't think this is the week that's going to happen. I think he's going to go for 300 plus. I think he's going to be able to carry this offense. I don't think their running game is going to do much, but I think he's going to do enough in the passing game to get this offense moving. And on the defensive side, I just don't see. I like CJ Stroud. I like the rookie coach, the rookie QB. I picked these guys to make it last week against the Colts. I like that matchup. I like them getting to the playoffs. It's a good story. Now we're in the playoffs. Now he's going against number one ranked pass defense in the league in the first round, and I just don't see C.J. Stroud with no running game, banged up receiving core outside of Nico Collins, being able to move the ball enough in this game. I don't think the Texans are going to score a lot in this game. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and take the Browns, and like I said, I caught this at 2, but I would lay it 2.5. I could see the Browns winning this by 3 to 6 points, but I like the Browns winning this game because I just don't see Houston being able to score enough against one of the top ranked defenses in the NFL. Moving on, Chiefs Dolphins. Okay, so this spread opened at 3.5. It's gone to 4.5. I think a lot of people are looking at the weather in Kansas City. It's supposed to be sub-zero wind chill. We're talking about we're talking about Tua in a passing game that is the number one passing offense in the league. But you got to think that's in good conditions. This is also a rematch, by the way. The Dolphins beat the Chiefs beat the Dolphins 21-14 in Germany early in the season, and that was in good conditions, and Tua didn't have the greatest game in that one. The Chiefs raced out to a 21-0 lead, and but they kind of had to hold on for dear life. The Dolphins were coming all the way back, and just couldn't finish the comeback, and ended up losing 21-14. But in those conditions, Tua didn't have the greatest game against a Chiefs pass defense that is pretty elite. It's one of the best in the league. So now you take one of the best pass defenses in the league with the weather that you're gonna see in that game, the weather that you're gonna see in Kansas City, and I just don't see Tua, who has been reported he's 0-4 when the weather is below 35 degrees, and he doesn't have the greatest numbers either. I just don't see Tua getting off against this Chiefs pass defense that's elite and considering those weather conditions. Also throw in the fact, and I'm gonna say this, Jalen Waddle, been following him all year. Jalen Waddle is gonna give it a go in this game. He's supposed to be healthy, and these kind of wind conditions is gonna be everything is gonna be harder in this game, right? Look, I'm not, and I'm obviously not wishing anybody to get hurt, but man, Jalen Waddle been soft as a buttercup this year, so I don't see how Jalen Waddle is gonna play 4 quarters in this game. So I think it's just going to be Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's, in Kansas City, he could play in these conditions, but Tua, I don't see it. Waddle, I don't see it. The rest of that passing game, I don't see it. I like the Chiefs passing defense to have an advantage in this game. You go to the running game, and the Chiefs have a weak run defense, and the Dolphins have a very strong running offense. The thing is, they handicap themselves. Mike McDaniel doesn't run the ball enough, in my opinion. He doesn't run it enough to take advantage of Raheem Mostert and Devin Achane. Those guys can go off in this game if they focus on the running game. That's going to be crucial in this game. Do the Dolphins focus on their running game to help them spring this upset? On this side, man, Chiefs passing knows what you can say. It's Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes can play in this weather. Travis Kelce can play in this weather. They're used to playing in this. This pass defense is the Dolphins' pass defense. Xavier Howard has already been ruled out, so that's going to help out guys like Rashee Rice, who's been coming on. I don't know if the Chiefs' passing offense is going to explode in these conditions, but I think they're going to be much better than what Tua is going to give them on the other side. And then Pacheco and the running offense. The Dolphins got a pretty stout run defense. Man, they're banged up up front. Bradley Chubb is out. Andrew Van Ginkel is out. These guys got a bunch of injuries in that front seven, and sooner or later that has to take its toll, right? So I like the Chiefs running game to have an advantage in this game. could be the focus for Kansas City in this game, but with Patrick Mahomes giving them some timely passing, right? So looking at this game, looking at those weather conditions, considering that Tua isn't used to playing in these conditions, Patrick Mahomes is. Tua has played poorly in these conditions before. Patrick Mahomes has played well in these conditions before. Um, got Pacheco giving that balance. You got a banged up Dolphins team. I mean, this. I know the spread has gone up to 4.5, but because of that, because of all those factors I just stated, I really like the Chiefs to get this done and cover that 4.5. If Tua can't get the passing game going, and I just don't see how much points this Dolphins are going to score, considering they'll score 14 in Germany in good conditions. They just I don't believe that now all of a sudden Mike McDaniel's going to morph into, okay, we're going to be a running team. Because if they did that, and if these were good conditions, I would strongly lean towards picking the Dolphins to pull off this upset. But I don't see that happening, and I don't like these conditions that they're going to play in. So I got to go with Kansas City and laying that 4.5. I just don't see the Dolphins scoring that many points. So now we're talking about high stakes, low stakes plays. I can tell you right now that Browns game, that's a low stakes play because I think that's going to be a tight game. I just don't think that Houston's going to score enough. So I like Cleveland to win that game. That's a low stakes play for me. And then a high stakes play for me, relatively high stakes play. I wouldn't go all the way to 5%, but I like the Chiefs and laying that 4.5. For Saturday, I'm taking both favorites to win this game. But anyways, so that ends Saturday's wild card weekend show. I'll have the Sunday games tomorrow morning, per my usual. If you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe, all of that, and you'll see my YouTube handle here in a few seconds. Take care.